A calendar is a valuable tool for keeping track of upcoming appointments. The calendar can help you visualize your schedule and remind you of important events. Knowing your calendar and the various components in it is helpful in planning all your workload and scheduled calls efficiently. I will go through it with you some of the components in the MGR calendar that will help you understand the calendar better and make the best use of it. Let's head to the calendar module. Please click on the calendar link from the left-hand menu. You will be taken to the calendar. The default view is the week view. You can change the views by clicking on these options. If you click on the month, it will show the monthly view, and if you click on the day, it will show you the day view. It will also give you monthly agenda view as well. The actual screen is split into two sections. One is the calendar itself, and the other one is for scheduling appointments. This way you can see the calendar when making an appointment, so you can see where to fit this appointment you are just about to make. Let's go through the top buttons first. The first button is called Color Legends, and that's where you will see the list of all your users, and each user is allocated a color. If you wish to change that, you can change it here. The next button is called Only, which is a drop-down. Please note that the calendar also shows logistic appointments too, and also no-show strikes, which are the ones customer missed. The Only drop-down allows you to filter them at the top level. The next one is a search option. Show on May is useful so you can see where the appointments are, so you can assign them accordingly. Timeline is also another view which is very useful. The Attendees button will allow you to filter your staff, and Import-Export is for importing and exporting data in different formats if needed. You can also import public holidays as well based on your region. There are also 3 notifications related to the appointments as well. Those ones are: Number 6 is Notify Customer when a new appointment was created. Number 12 is Notify Employee and Shop Admin when a new appointment was created. Number 6 is Notify Employee and Shop Admin when an appointment was modified. Number 6 is Notify Attendees and Shop Admin when customer cancelled their appointment. You can also create the appointments from the ticket interface as well. Also, when you create a new ticket, you can show the calendar as well to make it easier for you. Let me show you how. If you create a new ticket, you will see a tab called Calendar. You can create a new calendar entry which we call an appointment by clicking on the time slot within the calendar, and it will add the date in the right-hand side section, or you can directly select the date in the Schedule Appointment section. From there you can either select the ticket or create a new ticket. If you select the ticket, then you don't need to select the customer, as the system know who the customer is from the ticket. When you enable this, then it allows you to select the presets if configured. The next step is to add a subject, which is a short description of the appointment. There is also a field called Description if you need to add longer detail. Appoint type determines if it's an on-site appoint, in-shop appoint, etc. You can also add additional appoint types as well via the shop settings. The appointment location determines where it's going to take place, the actual geolocation. If it's on site, then the system emails directions to your technician. The date and time of the actual date and time of the appointment. The slider below is the time slider you select for the duration of the appointment. Attendees are your staff who will be dealing with this appointment. The no-show appointment is when the customer doesn't turn up for their appointment, and you set it here, and after 3 strikes, which are missed appointments, they will not be able to book any more appointments from the widget. You can change the strike value via the shop settings. Once ready, please click on the Create Appointment button. Once the appointment is created, you will see 3 icons when you move the mouse over to the appointment. The first one is to delete the appointment. The second one is to modify the appointment, and third one is to view the appointment, where you can see the customer and ticket information. If the appointment is related to a ticket, then you will see a link to the ticket, and the appointment is also available in the ticket as well. There is also a Google Calendar as well for the directions. Employees are the significant assets and the primary promoters of profitable business for an organization. Hence, apart from managing clients and customers for business purposes, it is a decisive responsibility of an organization to manage and fulfill all needs of its own employees. MGR not only resolves a company's customer side, but also it helps in empowering employees. Let's head to the Staff Manager to explore the options. Please click on the Shop Manager from the left-hand menu and then click on Shop User/Staff. It will take you to the Staff Manager, which will list all the existing users you have already set up. The top buttons allow you to perform different actions. The first one allows you to create a new user. The second button allows you to create a new rights group for your staff. Third one to show the staff on the map. Please note if your staff has the geolocation enabled, then you can see them on the map real time. There is also some notes regarding safeguarding your account as well as some recommendations which you must read and comply. Let's create a new staff. Please click on the Add User button. A new window will open. You will see 3 tabs. The first one is related to the account, the second one is related to the commission, and the third one is related to some general information about the staff. Please click on the Accounts tab and enter the username of the staff along with the email address and password. There is also an access PIN which is handy when the screen is locked. Also, you can use this to switch users as well. You can also add a photo of the staff. The type dropdown is very important as the system has already defined 4 types of user groups, and in most cases, this configuration is enough. However, you can also create your own user groups, or you can even change these 4 groups if needed. The system ones are admin, which is the default user when you create the account with MGR. Shop Manager is your shop manager, which has fewer rights than the admin. The third level is an employee, which is your sales staff, in other words, front of desk staff. The last level is your technicians. Status is where you make your staff inactive if needed. Daily sales target is related to daily performance. If you remember the sales targets on the dashboard, which can be set as the whole shop or individual staff. You set staff level targets here. Hourly rate is what you pay them per month. Location service is for tracking if they are field workers, then it's best to enable that. Allowed IP address will limit their logins from specific IP addresses. 2-factor verification is also recommended, and you can set it to ask every time or on the new devices only. The auto lock is handy as well, and you can set how frequently. The next 4 fields are related to staff holidays. Please note that MGR comes with a staff Rota module, which we will cover later on as well. Clock in required forces the staff to clock in as soon as they log in so the system starts their shift. Let's click on the Commission tab. That's where you set all the commission structures for your staff. There are 3 things you configure for commission. The first one is related to tickets, the second one is related to POS, and the third one is related to customer purchases. From the ticket commission drop-down, please select if the commission is based on the percentage or fixed, and then enter the value in the commission value. For example, if the type is percentage, then I would select percentage and then add 10 in the value. Would mean that I want to give 10% commission to my staff. The next option is related to RMA, and if you want your staff to have the commission on RMA, you can also set a commission based on the make or model of the asset. For example, you may want to give ×2 commission when they fix an expensive item. You can also give them a commission based on the categories as well, and you can also use the multiplier too. The commission can also be set on the issue types too, as well as the multiplier. You can also pick specific products as well if needed. The multiplier works really well when you want to give them more incentive. POS commission works similar way, however it has fewer options to configure. There is also a section to configure targeted products for your staff as well. Targeted products are what you want your staff to sell more in that week or month, so while they are serving the customer they will be asking if they are interested in the following products as they might be on offer. The last section is related to the customer purchase, so you can give commission to your staff when you are buying second-hand assets. The third tab is related to staff's profiles such as name, gender, and address. You can also set the color for their calendar entries. Once ready, please click on the Add Shop Staff and it will create. An email will be sent to the staff email address, and they must click on the activation link before logging into MGR. If they don't, then they will not be able to log in. Once the staff is created, you will see the staff in the list where you can perform additional actions such as modify the staff or print their badge. If you click on the card icon and you have the card printer, this can be used to print the cards for your staff. Let's now click on the user rights groups. As you can see that all the default groups are here, and it tells you how many users are in each group. The cogwheel icon means it's a system group. I have created a custom group called Custom Tech. It also shows you the number of permissions enabled in that group. As you can see in the admin group, 329 are enabled out of 338. As explained earlier, that you can even make changes to the default ones as well. If you click on the modify icon, it will allow you to make changes to that group. There is also a help note as well with some of them. Please do read them to understand the impact of the right. Creating new group is the same way, where you define what you want them to see and do. Once the group is created, then assign the group to the staff member. You've got better things to do than build your staff rota, but there's no avoiding it. Sure, it's easy enough to plan a staff rota if all your employees work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but you still need to cater to leave requests and holiday management. While that sounds straightforward enough, even employing a single hourly worker starts to complicate matters. Now you need to track hours worked during each pay period to make sure staff are being paid correctly. When you rely on part-time or hourly staff to run your business, rota planning becomes perhaps the most important admin task there is. The increasing popularity of flexi-time and other flexible working arrangements means that staff schedules are becoming more important in traditional office environments, too. Simply put, a staff rota should ensure that the correct number of staff with the required skills are working at the right time, subject to labor budget constraints. If you manage the rota at your business, you'll know that it's not quite as easy as that. Let's dive into the configuration of the Staff Shift Planner module. Please click on the Shop Manager from the left-hand menu and then click on Staff Rota/Shift Planner. First of all, you will need to set up your shift type. The system has created 4 default shifts for every shop, but you can change/delete or add according to your business requirements. The first one is the default shift, a normal 9 to 5 shift including 45 minutes for a lunch break. The second one is off sick. The third type is leave/time off. And the last one is maternity/paternity leave. You can also create new shift types based on your business workflow. Please click on the Add Shift Type. If you want to integrate shift type with time clock, then please enable the Show on Time Clock option. If you pay your employee based on this shift, then please click on the I pay my staff based on this shift option so the system calculates the payroll properly. If the shift has a lunch break, then please enable the lunch break option. Employee rota report will always have 2 figures, one with the lunch break and one without. You can also pay your staff based on each shift type rather than the one you set in the Staff Manager. This option is very useful if you want to pay your staff a different rate on the weekends or late shifts. You can simply create different shifts for that and set the hourly rate accordingly. To add a new shift, please head to Staff Rota/Shifts Planner and click on the blank space on the calendar to create a new shifts for the staffs. A new pop-up will open. Please enter the required information such as rota, shift type, user/staff and rota/shift date. Please remember you can select multiple staff and dates at the same time, which will speed up the process of adding shifts. There is an option to select multiple staff and dates. Once you are happy, then please click on the Add Rota/Shift, and your shifts will appear on the calendar. Your staff can request shifts including holidays or time off. Until approved, all the requested shifts will have a pending icon next to them. An automated email will be sent once the decision is made. Approved, denied. Emails are available in the notification section for you to change if needed. Once the shift is approved, it will have the approved icon, and if it's denied, then denied icon. Quick links on the dashboard will show the counter of all the pending approval shifts, requested shifts. Also, there is a search section on the Staff Rota/Shifts Planner. Staff can only delete their shifts until they are pending. Once approved, they can't delete them. However, shop admin and managers can delete shifts regardless of the current status of the shift because they may have added in error. You can also drag and drop the shifts to another day or staff. When shop admin and manager add the shifts, they don't need approval, they go in as approved by default. If shift type is integrated with time clock, then you will see your shift on the time clock interface. All you have to do is click on the clock in next to the slot as it's shown in the screenshot below. The settings page is one of the most important sections where you fine-tune how MGR should work for you. That's why you need to know where to go. Some of the settings I have already covered in the previous videos, however I thought it would be better if there is one section for just the settings where I can go through them. There are lots of settings, so don't get confused about them, as some of them may not be relevant to you, so please don't get overwhelmed to see that many options. All the sections are categorized as you can see from the tabs. For example, if you're looking for a setting which is related to a ticket, then it will be in the ticket section, and if the setting is related to the product, then it will be in the product tab, and so on. All the notifications are in the notifications tab, and the template editor contains the printable templates. Some of the complex settings will have a question mark icon which will take you to the knowledge base article related to that setting. For example, there is one next to the VAT/tax, and if I click on it, it will open the KB article related to that topic, so please explore the help notes as much as possible. I will try to explain as many as possible. Most of the options are self-explanatory though. Let's start with the General tab. General tab holds the settings related to your profile, such as shop information, your localization and region, and settings related to views and skins. In the Profile section, please enter your shop information such as the name, email address, physical address, contact details and shop logo. Most of this information will be used on the templates you print or the emails the system will send out, so it's important that all of these are correct. The next section is related to your localization, which holds the settings related to your time zone, language, which currency system should be set to, tax values, how many decimals you need in the system, and date and time format. Please do set them according to your requirement. The next section is related to security, where you can enable the settings like enabling a strong password, what should be the length of the password, allowed IP address, and enable or disable captcha. The Report/View section is related to how you want your data to be presented. The default date range is for the search forms, and the date range for the sales progression is for the dashboard, as you want to show a week's worth of data rather than today's. The default number of records per page is for when we list the data, like on the product manager. As you can see, it shows the 25 records per page. However, you do have the option to change it if needed, but it will revert back to the default one when you come back again. Show report table is set to responsive by default, which means the system automatically hides the columns it can't fit. If you don't want the system to do that, then set it as a horizontal scroll bar, which will allow a scroll if it can't fit the columns. The report table pagination is a very useful option which controls how the page numbers at the bottom should show. There are various options to select from. You can also set how the search field should behave. For example, the default value is as you type, which means as you type the system searches for that typed keyword. You may not want to do that. You may want the system to perform a search when you press enter or Ctrl+Enter. What buttons do you want as the export options? The default value is all, which means it will show all of these buttons, but you can change them if needed. Daily and monthly sales reports can be based on when the invoice is created or when the invoice was paid. In the other section, we have the options such as close the pop-up when you click outside of it, or close it when you click on the X button within the pop-up. You can also disable and disable the point of sale. The open register is required for refunds is handy, which means the register must be open to process a refund so your reconciliation is accurate. You can enable or disable the Topaz signature pad. You can also disable system payment methods if you want your own payment methods. Auto dismiss reminder bubble is default set to yes, which means the pop-up will close automatically. Enable sorting on ticket and PSO sales items will allow you to sort the line items so they appear as you want. The order of the line item is as you add them. Auto print POS receipts, ticket receipts and ticket labels are handy when you have the printing integration on and you want the system to print them automatically. The last section is related to the skins. You can choose from the 12 skins. The next tab is related to invoice settings, such as how the POS and ticket invoice numbering should start from, as well as what prefix to use. You can also have a single numbering for POS and ticket invoices. You can also disable it so no one can delete and recreate invoices. The default invoice due date is handy as well. You can also set the invoice date when the last payment is received. Lock line items on payments is very useful, which means as soon as the payment is made you can't modify the line items. There are also other useful options as well. The next tab is related to the ticket. The first setting is related to what the ticket prefix should be along with where to start the ticket numbering, as you may want to start the MGR ticket numbering from a specific point as you just moved away from another system. The default due date is very handy and you can exclude or include weekends. Show Products and Service section setting controls the ability to add the products to the ticket setting. To know will hide that section as some shops may not want to use that. Show Ticket Activity section is to show or hide the activity boxes on the ticket manager. Let me show you where they are. Show Ticket Progress section controls if you want to show or hide the 4 boxes we show on the ticket screen. Let me show you where they are. Show Ticket Due Date controls the due date field on the ticket. Show Ticket Timer controls the ticket time box, and Show Signature Pad controls the signature box on the ticket page. Ticket Prices on Customer Display control if you want to show the ticket prices on the customer display or not. Show Preset box on the new ticket controls the preset dropdown we show when you create the ticket. Allow deleting comments will control whether you want your staff to delete the ticket comments or not. There are also other settings as well, but the most important ones are the ticket custom fields, which we did cover in the previous videos, along with the ticket checklist, aging and feedback. The ticket form layout will allow you to manage the ticket form. For example, you may want to move the short info first and then the customer dropdown. The next tab is for the customer settings. Again, most of the settings are self-explanatory, however there are a couple of settings I would like to point out. One of my favorite ones is the ability to manage how the customer dropdown gets shown along with how it searches. There is an option to define the customer dropdown in the whole application. Let me show you which customer box I am referring to first. As you can see, currently I am showing just the customer name and the mobile. Let's say I want to add the customer email in the dropdown. All you have to do is copy the customer_email tag and paste it into the template. Once pasted, please click on the Update settings. Let's now see what the customer dropdown looks like. As you can see now, I have the customer's email in the customer's dropdown. You can also define how it searches as well. There are 2 methods. The first one is called by words in phrase, e.g. John Smith will bring all records which contain John and Smith. The second option is called by phrase. For example, John Smith will bring all records exactly containing John Smith. The other key settings are the customer's custom fields, the customer purchase checklist and the loyalty reward points system, which we covered in the other videos. The next tab is related to the product settings. As you can see, you also have the option to manage the product and services drop-down the same way as the customer one. Please do explore the settings as most of them are self-explanatory. All the automated notifications can be found in the Notifications tab. The template editor will let you make changes to all the printable documents. Each template will have its own set of tags which can be added anywhere in the templates. The calendar tabs hold the calendar settings, and mailbox is related to reading inbound emails. You can also create inbound email rules to create tickets. We have covered those in the Part 1 video.